if you can consistently do the behaviors, which means, because I'm a big believer in this. Listen up. You guys should probably write this down. I said this over and over, and I'm going to keep saying it every single time that you guys see me, is you're always going to default to the highest level of your training ability. You're always going to default to the highest level of your training ability, which means that if you don't work on your craft as much, guess what? That's what you're going to default to. If you don't work on bettering your sales system, guess what? Whatever sales system that you have, that's what you're going to always default to. That's why I'm a big believer is I prefer to overtrain for something than undertrain, because it's going to prepare me for more, right? And then I talked about doing behaviors, right? You guys have heard me. If you guys were on the Zoom a couple weeks ago, I talked about sales etiquette, talked about, how you should, prepare yourself for a sales appointment, high level stuff, prepare yourself, writing down objections, what your rebuttals are going to be for those objections. And then not only that, what's the two outcomes that you want from that meeting, and then the negotiation phase. Like, how do you want that negotiation phase to go? By setting up advanced agreements, by making sure that you're doing the right bonding report. And then the last thing is, when you're done with those meetings, is do a debrief, right? Figure out what went really well and figure out what you can improve on if you didn't get the deal or you didn't get the results you wanted. Now, that's the behaviors. Imagine if you did those behaviors, and the other, and basically, how would your attitude be every single time that you approach a sales call, right? Now you might be saying, Max, but how am I supposed to do that for every single call? Because I'm just cold calling right now? No. So if you're doing it, let's say that you're blocking time, because this is about cold calling today. And that's the question that I always get. Isn't that a little bit overkill? And what did I say earlier? You're always going to default to your highest level of training, right? So if you're going to cold call, and this is for all you guys that are cold calling right now, if you're going to cold call, let's say you're going to block out a time of 1 hour or 2 hours of cold calling. You can actually write down your behaviors. You can do your behaviors of what you want for that 2 hours of call. What rebuttals are you going to get during that prospecting session? What outcome do you want from that prospecting session when someone that picks up the phone and you're talking to them? How do you want that conversation to look like? And then if let's say, plan the debriefing on a call where you actually had a conversation. What's a conversation? I'm talking about a conversation is you maybe hit on motivation, pain, time frame, maybe condition, who knows, right? So no, it's never too much to over prepare. Just make sure if you are cold calling, you are prospecting, and you say, hey, I'm going to prospect from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Here's what I want to happen within that 2 hour window, right? Here's the objections that I'm preparing for. Here's the rebuttals that I'm going to prepare for those. And that's how you do it. Now, if you're not cold calling, you're not prospecting, and you're going to get into calls where you are going to do some high stake negotiations, and you do have some type of intel of the prospect that you're talking to, then you might want to do every single call. You might want to prepare for that, for mentally, for every single call. So it just depends. So again, doing those behaviors, it's going to change your attitude when you go to the when you go to make the calls. And then the last thing is that guess what? You're gonna be able to use the strategies, the techniques that you have learned a lot more comfortable and a lot better, because you're gonna understand you've already done the homework, you've got the right attitude, and now you're implementing the technique. I see this so much where people actually talk about strategies and techniques first, have the right attitudes, and then go out and do the behaviors. That's not how it works. You cannot use strategies, you cannot use tactics or any techniques in sell if your attitude's not right, if you haven't done any behaviors, if you're expecting to jump on the phones and get results like that. Like I said, it's not sustainable. You're going to get tired. You're going to get worn down. You're going to get beat up. So I want to share that. That's what I shared, about when I was over there in Houston. It was great. So Sebastian, what's going on, bro? Let's go, man. I'm excited, man. Thank you for signing up for the 3-week intensive. Like I have about 10 seats left still. It starts July 6th. That's what I'm making 2 announcements today, and that's one of them. I'll get into that here in a little bit. But Sebastian, thank you, man, for investing in yourself with me and to be able to take your game to the next level. Guys, if what I just explained to you, If you think that that would help you, if you think that that's you know, you can take that little bit that I gave you, guys. If you do those things that I just gave you in the day in and day out, you're going to be able to have success. Drop some fire emojis, some thumbs up if you got value out of what I just gave you. And I'm going to go